Alright, so I think we ended on 22, so we're going to start on 24 today. So 24, y equals negative 2x squared minus 6x plus 3. Alright, so I'm finding the x point, which is negative b over 2a. So b is negative 6, so that's going to be negative times negative 6 over 2 times a is negative 2. So that's going to be 6 over 4, or well, 6 over negative 4, which is negative 3 halves. Okay, so that means that my axis of symmetry is at x is equal to negative 3 halves. So then for my vertex, to find that, I need to plug in this x value anywhere I see x up here. So negative 2 times negative 3 halves squared minus 6 times negative 3 halves plus 3. So negative 2 times 9 over 4 plus 2 and 6 cancel to 3, so that's going to be 9 plus 3. So then this first part simplifies to negative 9 over 2. Plus, I'm going to go ahead and switch these to be over 2 so I can get a common denominator. Well, I'm going to make this 12, okay, first, and then I'm going to put it over 2. So it's going to be 24 over 2. Okay, I'm just trying to save myself as many steps as possible. If you don't need to write out all these steps, you don't have to. And so then, what is this, 15 over 2? So my vertex is at negative 3 halves. And 15 over 2. Alright, so then as far as graphing it, okay, 15 over 2 is 7.5, so I'm gonna go up a little ways. Alright, so my axis of symmetry is at negative 3 halves, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. So it's a little bigger than it's about negative 1.5. I think my line's a little crooked. It's like just enough to be irritating, but that's okay. Alright, so then my vertex is at negative 3 halves and 15 over 2. So I'm going to go up here and plot my vertex. Okay, now this is one where I could obviously plot 1, but that is going to be a little bit irritating. Okay, I can plug in 0 to the original, and 0 gives me out 3. So at 0, I have a point at 3, and then I need to go 1.5 on the other side of the axis of symmetry, and I have my other point. And then I just need to connect.
Wait, hold on. I just don't understand, like, can you just, like, tell me you got the red point?
Huh?
Can you just tell me, like, how the fraction works? I wouldn't pay attention.
You plug in the x value to this equation, and then you solve it.
No, I'm talking, like, the plot, like, on the graph.
You just 15 over 2. It's a little bigger than 7.
We're talking about the axis.
7.5.
Are you talking about plotting the axis of symmetry or doing the vertex?
No. Like the. I hate practice.
You just convert it to a decimal if it's easier. This is just 7.5 and negative 1.5.
So never want to do that again.
Yeah,
Well, we're doing another one. 26. F of x equals negative 6x squared minus 4x minus 5. So I'm going to find the x value. Negative b over 2a. So negative times negative 4 over 2 times negative 6. So that's going to be 4 over negative 12, which is negative 1/3. So then my axis of symmetry is that x is equal to negative 1/3. I'm going to plug in negative 1/3 for x in this original to get my y. So negative 6 times negative 1/3 squared minus 4 times negative 1/3 minus 5. So then I have negative 6 times negative 1/3 squared is going to be 1/9. Negative 4 times negative 1/3 is plus 4/3. And then minus 5. I'm going to simplify. So negative 6 and 9, I can take a 3 out of both. So it's going to give me negative 2 over 3 plus 4 over 3. And I'm going to go ahead and make this 5b over 3. So that's going to be 15 over 3. And so then I get negative 13 over 3 is my y value, meaning my vertex is at negative 1/3, negative 13 over 3. Okay, if you want to think about it as a decimal, okay, negative 0.3 repeating and negative 4.3, okay, repeating. All right, so then for the graph, okay, it's negative, so it's opening down. I'm not going to draw a whole lot above the graph just because, you know, not going above. So all right, so my axis of symmetry is at negative 1/3. So it's literally just barely to the side of the y-axis. And I know that line's not straight, but that's okay. So the vertex is on that line at negative 4.3. So I'm going to go down to 4 and a little bit farther. There's my vertex. And since 0 is an option, I'm going to use 0 to get my other point. So plugging in 0, I'm left with negative 5. So there's a point. Now you have to remember, okay, obviously it's really hard. You're working with, unless you like really spread your graph out, you're working with a really small amount of space. So remember, you're only 1/3 away from 0 on the right. So you're only going 1/3 away on the left. So it's really, really close there. Okay. And then just connect them.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's
It's
fine. It's fine. If you had wanted to, like when you initially drew your graph, like if you really thought about it, you could have gone out here and drawn like one like farther out, you know what I mean? And it would have made it a little easier, but
Yeah.
I mean, typically you're not thinking about that when you're going and drawing it. You know, you have to be really intentional to remember to do that. But then it also looks weird if you like, if you do all of these tick marks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know what I mean? Like it looks kind of weird, so it really doesn't matter. As long as you get the gist of where it's supposed to be, as long as it's usually in the right general vicinity, it's fine.
As long as it's
I mean,
not
if it's
like all
over
the way
here-
over there.
I mean, if you have it in like the wrong quadrant or something, then that's a different story. But
Pointing up.
that's why I make you write both the axis of symmetry and the vertex, so that way if your graph looks wrong, I at least know that you knew what you were like. Well, I don't want to say that you knew what you were doing, because if you get it wrong, you clearly don't know. But that you know what I mean.
Kind
Did
of
it.
halfway.
Yeah, sort of.
You know how to work the problems and know how to put it on there.
Well, if I get it wrong, sometimes I do know what I'm doing. I just mess up.
All right, so this is how this is going to work. These problems you have to do to turn in 3, 7, 13, and 25. Okay, optional extra. Okay, it's not, well, I don't want to say it's not going to benefit you to do them, but it's not, like, your grade's not going to benefit by you doing them or not doing them. 11, 21, and 23 would be good to look at as well. When you open your book, you can look at something like 27 through 32, and you can say, thank you for not giving me one that starts with fractions. Those are pretty brutal.
Oh my. Oh no. No.
So, anyways.
It's not even like a 0.5 or anything. It's
Oh, I
like
know, it's like
2/3.
5/3 or, yeah. It's obnoxious.
Yeah, negative
So.
3 over 5, negative 5 over 3. Oh.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Anyways, there's your problems to work on, and I'll make a tab for you here in just a second. And I also will go post the video links for the other videos. I'm assuming y'all know how to find them on
Yeah.
my YouTube anyways, but I'll post the links to
They're
get to
in, like,
them.
They're all